WRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
A cold day, a First Alert weather day. I'm meteorologist JP Dice. Welcome to First Alert Weather Extra. We have lots to talk about, lots of pictures to share. It has been a very, very active weather day. In fact, the last week or so, very active across the state. El Nino weather pattern keeping us busy here in the First Alert Weather Center. Let's go ahead and bring you up to date with what's happening right now. Birmingham at 20 degrees, Tuscaloosa 24, Anniston 21, 16 in Coleman, 22 in Columbiana. Clear sky out there, and what we have been watching is this system just plow through over the last couple of days. At first we saw all of the snow and ice across the Tennessee Valley. Now that system has exited. For most of us in our viewing area, it hasn't been really a snow event. We've seen a little bit of that. It has been primarily an ice event. We're still dealing with that even at this hour. Tonight we have ice across parts of the area that you need to be mindful of if you're going to be doing some traveling out there. In particular, our friends in Walker County. This is one of the best cameras to illustrate the icing setup across much of the area. We're seeing it in Coleman, Winston, Marion County. I received word earlier, Highway 43 between Hamilton and Hackleburg. Major travel issues there. Not a surprise, many of these areas have been well below freezing today, and some of the shaded areas have not even received any sunshine to help thaw the roads out. So that's the view right now in Walker County. Again, want to stress, if you are around any places, any roads that look like that, better stay put, because those roads are going to be tough to travel on later on this evening. Wind chill advisory in effect for much of the area. Wind chills 5 to -5 degrees early tomorrow morning. We'll pinpoint the temperatures. Our next big thing, we're looking at temperatures tomorrow morning. These are the actual air temperatures. Jasper at 6. 10 in Pell City, 7 in Coleman, 5 in Hamilton, 12 in Centerville. Actual air temperatures. The wind chills are going to be even colder than that. Tomorrow during the afternoon, looking at those temperatures warming up into the lower to mid 30s. So many areas tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon, we will see those air temperatures get above freezing. That's going to help things out quite a bit. You combine that with the sunshine, temperatures above freezing. Many of the road issues that we were dealing with, we're not going to be dealing with one of those. There's a look at our AccuTrack, and you can see right there, this circled area, this is our focus for that slick road setup for tonight and tomorrow. Rain returns on Thursday. It's going to be cold again over the weekend on Saturday. Looks like temperatures down into the teens. There's a look at that rain for Thursday afternoon and evening moving through. Fortunately, no severe weather in that setup. Our 7-day forecast calling for some rain on Thursday, especially Thursday night. Then over the weekend, it should be sunny. First alert weather day for cold temperatures. On Saturday, 13 degrees. So Saturday, we're going to be looking at some bitter cold air there, and then we warm up. It's a roller coaster, folks, with those temperatures in the 60s next week. A lot of you are part of our First Alert weather team. A lot of you have submitted pictures today and videos through email, social media, and of course on our handy dandy First Alert weather app. Let's take a look at some of these images of icicles, snow, and so much more. Remember, if you'd like your image to be featured, to send them in through the First Alert weather app. That directly ties into our system here, makes it real easy to see those pictures or video. You can also send them through social and email. Check out this bird's eye view from Coleman. It's sent in by Jeff Young. I tell you what, you need a little Dramamine there if you watch this. You can see a blanket of snow across Coleman last night. The hard freeze warning still in effect will make driving conditions even tougher. And here to check in on those current conditions in Coleman are Tristan Rupert.
Driving conditions expected to only get worse over the next 6 to 8 hours, and that's because all of the hard work put in by the sun to try and melt some of the snow and ice is actually expected to make the roads slightly more dangerous tonight, and that's because anything that melted, that water expected to refreeze tonight, which means the roads are going to be slicker than perhaps ever. And again, it's going to create some very dangerous driving conditions. I spoke with several law enforcement entities and the EMA director today. They all stressed this is a concern for them. They ask if you can avoid traveling, avoid going on the road, that you do so, because again, all it's going to do is perhaps get their crews out trying to take care of you or your loved ones. As far as the most troublesome spots here in Coleman County, again, last night it was mile markers 310 to 318 on I-65, right? All lanes, north and southbound. Today, just a little bit further down between 291 and 299, that was the real hazardous area, and that's because law enforcement officials tell me it was a very hilly region, and of course that means some of the larger 18-wheelers were having problems. I spoke with troopers earlier today. They stressed that if at all possible, you need to stay inside and stay off the roads.
Consider all roads icy, and very dangerous. And we want to get the message of it. If any way possible, try to prevent from getting on the roadways unless you just have to go.
The hope is that by tomorrow morning, temperatures finally begin to rise a little bit, perhaps above freezing. Some of this wintry mix, some of the sludge and ice will really start to dissipate. And of course, perhaps some safer conditions on the roadways. Again, expected after mid-morning tomorrow, but our First Alert team is going to keep you updated on everything you need to know. Reporting in Coleman County, Tristan Rupert, WBRC, Fox 6 News, on your side.
And thank you very much, Tristan. Stay warm out there. I know it's a tough job to do. And we usually don't see snowfall here in Jefferson County. There's been a little bit, a few videos sent in. Take a look at the snow flurries coming down this morning. This was in the Homewood area. It's also been a busy day for tow truck drivers all over the area. Our team caught up with some earlier today as they were getting ready to help stranded drivers. Workers at Wheel Wrecker Service started prepping their trucks yesterday. They knew it was going to be a busy day. They had chains for their tires and drivers stocked up with food and water.
We have something, it's commonly known as oil dry, but we call it clay-based absorbent. A lot of times if you get stuck, whether it's mud, ice, snow, it'll help you gain traction.
They also stay off the roads if you can, but if you can't, make sure you slow down, use some common sense. Remember, you might need some extra time to stop. That black ice certainly can be sneaky. If you've ever wondered why bridges and overpasses freeze quicker than roads, meteorologist Matt Daniel and Mickey Ferguson join us now to explain exactly why that happens.
Mickey, when it comes to winter weather, we always have to watch bridges and overpasses when it comes to maybe ice.
That's right, because the ground itself acts as an insulator, and a lot of times the air temperature will drop below freezing, but the ground will still be above freezing. And that's why we focus in on bridges and overpasses as freezing first, because the air gets underneath the bridge and overpasses and causes that to freeze first.
Now look at that air temperature is dropping below that freezing point. And then if you look at the road temperature before you get over to that bridge, temperatures at there is at 38. But because of that flow, as you were just talking about, Mickey, it creates temperatures even colder. So notice that bridge temperatures drop down below freezing. So if you got any kind of water, rain or freezing rain, that water is going to sit and then it becomes ice. And if you're driving over that and you're not aware of it, you're going to get in an accident. It could be pretty problematic. So that's why bridges and overpasses are always going to freeze first when it comes to wintry weather, or even if it's just black ice, you're going to get that in those spots.
And you want to make a point in any kind of situation where you do have temperatures dropping and you got that frozen precip. When you go over those bridges and overpasses, take your foot off the gas, take your foot off the brake, and just kind of coast through that area. No sudden movements, and then just in case it is icy, your vehicle can continue on a straight course.
That's right. And if you, of course, monitor the First Alert weather app. You can always check the temperature where you're located at. Obviously, if it's above freezing and it looks wet, it's just going to be wet. But if it's below freezing, just assume it is ice and there could be some issues. So just take it slow when it comes to bridges and overpasses.
Thanks, Matt and Mickey. And in 30 seconds, we'll continue to take a look at current weather conditions around the state. They're chilly out there, as well as update you on current temperatures. We'll be right back. And welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist JP Dice. Let's take a look right now at First Alert AccuTrack and show you those current conditions. First of all, the good news is we do not see any additional precipitation out there. There's none of that in the forecast. It is clear at the moment, and we expect a clear sky right on through tomorrow afternoon. In terms of temperature right now, here's where we stand. 16 in Coleman, it's 18 in Gadsden, 20 in Center, 15 in Hamilton, 24 in Tuscaloosa. Farther to the south, Clanton at 22, Rockford 22, and Aliceville at 22 degrees. Tomorrow, we will see those temperatures start to warm up after we get into the afternoon. May see some temperatures really above freezing late morning, and then everybody practically above freezing as we get into the early afternoon hours. That combined with the sunshine, that's going to alleviate many road issues out there. So make sure you stay in touch with us with our WBRC First Alert Weather app and check for any closings or delays before you leave your house, of course, in the morning. As we continue to bring coverage on the winter weather on this First Alert Weather Day from around the area, meteorologist Fred Hunter traveled to Hamilton. In fact, he's been in Hamilton over the last couple of days to talk to us about the conditions in the area this morning and how the community is handling all of that.
Well, here in Marion County, through the morning hours, we've had a little bit of blue sky appearing overhead, but a lot of white stuff still on the ground. And this, of course, has been accumulating since the pre-dawn hours on Monday morning when it started as sleet. The sleet fell steadily during the day on Monday, and then overnight, last night, early this Tuesday morning, we started to get the snow on top of that, and the roads were deemed impassable as early as about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon here in Marion County. They have been out since early this morning, sanding the roads since it was light enough for them to see and to work. And the EMA director here, Eric Terrell, informed us that some people were without electricity. Of course, this cold has been very dangerous. Over 600 people early this morning without electricity. And he was telling us that for people who don't have electricity or some way of keeping warm, that there are warming stations at various churches and schools and at some of the local fire stations. So you can contact emergency management officials, contact your local fire station if you need to seek some shelter from this very dangerous cold. Now, the blue sky is a welcome sight, but the opening skies, along with the brisk northwesterly winds, which have resumed, mean that temperatures will drop overnight tonight, even colder than early this morning. So Wednesday morning lows will be well into the single digits, and some air temperatures may drop to near zero. So another cold night on the way here in Marion County. Reporting from Hamilton, I'm meteorologist Fred Hunter, WBRC Fox 6 News, on your side.
Yeah, no doubt, Fred, very brutal out there for any length of time that you're outside. Of course, today the sunshine helped it out a little bit, and that always makes things feel a bit better. Temperatures in the area could dip possibly into the single digits tomorrow morning with those wind chills well below zero. In Tuscaloosa, McFarland Boulevard is now passable, but parts of the road are possibly still slick, especially as those temperatures drop tonight. According to AlDOT, most of the problems are still in places such as Marion, Winston, and Walker counties. Those are the areas we've really been targeting a lot. The I-22 corridor is also an area to be careful with. AlDOT says a significant amount of roads are questionable tonight in West Alabama, but the good news is AlDOT personnel is working now to make the roads drivable.
One thing I think it's important to point out is AlDOT, we have priorities on how we treat things. The interstate is our top priority to keep that up, and then we transition down from there by traffic volume. We want motorists to stay off the roads if they can. No unnecessary travel. If you do have to travel, please stay away from our AlDOT trucks that are working to treat the roads, give them enough space. And as always, don't drive distracted, especially in these type of conditions.
John McWilliams says AlDOT bridges are treated with a magnesium calcium substance and uses salt on the roadways. And right now, the city of Birmingham is hosting a 24-hour warming station at the BJCC's East Ballroom. Started at 6 p.m. and it closes Thursday at 7 a.m. There are warming stations across Alabama if you need shelter from the cold. We have a full list on our WBRC News app. And right now you can scan or tap our First Alert Weather Day QR code. You can see it right there on your screen to download our First Alert Weather app and get updates on closing and storm shelter locations. Still ahead, we continue to track dangerously cold temperatures for tonight. And we'll tell you more about the threat for additional Arctic air coming up this weekend. Stay with us for more First Alert Weather Extra. And welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I want to show you the future road temperatures as we head into tonight and during the overnight hours. You can see the road temperatures, the surface temperatures, 11 p.m. around 20 degrees for Tuscaloosa, 17 for Ashland, 13 for Coleman, 15 for Gadsden, and those road temperatures heading down into the mid to upper teens as we get into early tomorrow morning. That translates into the fact if there's any residual moisture out there on the roadways or if anything has not melted away, it's obviously a problem tonight and tomorrow. Road temperatures coming up 9 a.m. Many road temperatures are above freezing, and we finally get all road temperatures above freezing during the afternoon. That is going to help out the travel situation considerably. It's also going to be very breezy tomorrow morning. Keep that in mind. Winds out of the north at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, giving us wind chills between 5 and -5. Here's a look at the actual air temperatures for tomorrow. 5 for Hamilton, 6 for Jasper, 11 in Anniston, 12 in Alabaster. And tomorrow afternoon, still pretty chilly in Hamilton. You could still see some residual issues tomorrow afternoon in some of the roads less traveled. Hamilton, 29 degrees, Coleman, 28. This is 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Tuscaloosa 36 and 35 in Talladega. So slick roads in the forecast tonight. Rain returns by Thursday later in the day. Could see some rain in the afternoon. Better chance of rain Thursday night. And a bitter cold weekend. Another first alert weather day for the temperatures on Saturday morning. Look at the green here. Rain chances back in the forecast coming up Thursday and Thursday night. A first alert for that. No severe weather, and it's not a wintry mix. Just some rain coming in. And then as we get into Friday, some sunshine out there. And temperatures actually showing a rebound as we get into next week. Tuesday should see a high around 60 degrees, 8 to 14 today temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center indicating above average temperatures finally in the forecast as we get into the next couple of weeks. So tomorrow high of 38, that's Birmingham, a little colder to the north, 44 on Thursday, 40% chance of rain on Thursday, Friday high of 38 degrees, Saturday and Sunday looks like it's going to be sunny, but we will see those cold temperatures on Saturday, the morning low about 13 degrees as we get into Monday and Tuesday next week. Temperatures warming up into the 50s and 60s, so significantly warmer getting into next week. Hope you enjoy that rebound in temperatures. It's cold right now, though, and we check in to take a look at conditions in Jasper with our Anjanae Robinson.
In Walker County, ALDOT crews opened up 2 lanes on I-22, but they did report that they had a problem area on Highway 69 north of Jasper. Earlier today, they did have some crews go out there and fix that lane, so it should be open for folks driving on that road. Now, ALDOT officials, they tell me that the sun really helped them out today. They were able to get a lot done as the heat from the sun cleared up some of the ice on the roads. However, later tonight as the sun goes down, the roads will start to refreeze, and ALDOT crews will be back out treating the roads tonight and into tomorrow morning.
Tonight is certainly better than last night, but it's still hazardous to be out there because that dude's going to freeze. Once you come in for the night, I'd stay in. I'd put it that way.
ALDOT crews tell me if there are no major wrecks on I-22 or Highway 69 north of Jasper, they plan to keep those roads open. We'll, of course, continue to keep you updated as more information is available. For now, reporting for Weather Extra, Ajane Robinson, WBRC, Fox 6 News, on your side.
And this evening, as temperatures begin to take a dip, we are on your side with the signs of hypothermia that you do need to look for. With the Arctic air being so cold, you could experience frostbite literally within minutes. And if you're out for too long, hypothermia can set in, which is when your body temperature falls below 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Here are some of the symptoms you need to look out for: shivering, exhaustion, clumsiness, sleeplessness, weak pulse, and rapid breathing. And if you're experiencing any of those symptoms, here's what you need to do. Get inside quickly and try to use warm up using lukewarm water. Make sure someone else tests it to avoid scalding. And if you start to blister or lose feelings in your extremities, get to a hospital immediately. We'll be right back with more First Alert Weather Extra. Meanwhile, for your homes, we are on your side with a few reminders to prepare your house for sub-freezing temperatures. That's why you often hear people say to let the pipes or the faucets drip so they don't freeze, especially those that are exposed. But does it actually work? A local expert says yes, but it all depends.
It depends, okay, on how cold it gets and how long it stays cold. Typically, we're not going to see problems until it gets into the teens and stays that way for a day or so, where it doesn't get above freezing at all.
And Carrie Atkins says to make sure the door to your crawl space is closed so pipes under your home are less exposed to the elements. Also, make sure the insulation in your attic covers the pipes. Good information there. All right, let's take a look at what's going on right now. The blue on the map indicating we have some wind chill advisories in effect. So be careful out there. I know some of these counties are still not color coded with that. That's just a technicality there between Weather Service offices and really just how they issue these warnings. Trust me, if you're in Tuscaloosa, you need a wind chill advisory. Take heed to our notes here. We're going to be looking at wind chills between 5 and -5 degrees Fahrenheit. Lamar County, same deal back into Pickens County. Right now, check out the temperatures. We have 20 in Birmingham, 24 Tuscaloosa, 21 Anniston, 16 in Coleman and Columbiana at 22 degrees. As we get into the next 7 days, it's a little bit of a roller coaster out there. 38 for Wednesday, 44 on Thursday, chance of rain. Friday, some sunshine, back getting cold again, 38 degrees. First alert weather day on Saturday for a morning low of 13 and warming up into the 60s next week. That's a look at your weather. Thanks for checking us out here on First Alert Extra. We'll see you tonight at 9.